Hello, this is Mr. Buffington. We're going to be talking about photography today, so I thought we'd start out by looking at a picture of me. Alright, now that that's done, I'm not a photographer. I'm really not very good at taking pictures. I've been practicing though, and I've learned something about pictures that is very exciting for me because, as you might have guessed, it relates to math. That's right, the rule of thirds. We're going to be talking a little bit about fractions, we're going to be talking about photography, and we get to take some pictures of some really cute kids. Alright, basically what the rule of thirds is this. You take a picture, and all these pictures are ones that I've been taking kind of lately or, you know, a while back. Anyway, these are pictures. And you take a picture and you divide it into thirds, both horizontally and vertically. And when you do that, you create a couple of things. First off, you look at some lines. The bottom third here is one part, and the middle third and the top third, and then of course thirds off to the left, middle, and right. And it also creates or shows you where naturally you would have focal points. So when we first look at this photograph, we would look, and naturally our eye would go probably to the head of the horse, right around that area. And that's one of the focal points, and they've done some research and found that the focal points tend to go right to these points where the thirds cross. Alright, so in this case we would look right there at the top of the horse. And we see that this picture, the horse takes up essentially these 2/3 of the picture, and then we've got 1/3 of, background. Let's look at the next picture and see where your eye naturally goes. When we take a look at this picture, our eye naturally, for me at least, would go right around here, looking at the chicken, and that is where these two lines cross. Right? So focal points is one part of the rule of thirds. For this picture here, our focal point will probably be right around there, which is right, where these lines will be crossing. And it's just naturally where the eye tends to go. It tends to go off to the side, usually around the thirds. And if we know that when we're taking pictures, we can try and make things appear right there, like I did in this picture. I took the picture knowing that people would be looking right there, so I tried to make the focal point right there. And it apparently makes it nicer for people who are looking at pictures. For this one here, I wasn't necessarily thinking about a focal point as much as I was about the lines. In the bottom third here, we have the deck. Okay, the deck, and it adds a bit of depth to the picture as well, but just having the deck in the bottom third, and then like this group of trees here, the closer trees, up in the, the third that's off to the side here. And by doing that, by making the lines and parts kind of take up 1/3 and 1/3, apparently that's part of the rule that makes it, makes a picture a little bit more nice to look at. Of course, looking at a picture like this is kind of dreary in most cases, but apparently it's nicer if it's in thirds, so it makes the winter time a little bit more pleasant maybe. Alright. Anyway, here's a picture I took a long time ago, before I knew the rules, and there's a nest right in the very center. You'll see that that doesn't really correspond or correlate to the thirds very well. So what I did was I started cropping it and trying to make it kind of obey the rules or follow the rules just a little bit better. I tried sticking it up here so that the focal point would be right on the nest and the eggs over here. I think that does some interesting things, helps us notice the wood over to the side a little bit. And then I took another one where I cropped it real close and made the focal point right on the eggs, just to kind of mess with, these rules and sort of take a look at it like that. This one here, our eyes naturally go to a line, right? A line straight up and down, and that tree is just, a perfect example of that line. This is a dead tree, kind of out front, right down the third line. Here was when Jacob was asleep. I think one of the natural lines we see is right along his back here, and that's right about a third, and then the focal point will be right on his face. just making it kind of a nice picture. And this one here of Emily, where the line 1/3 will be right down the middle of her face pretty much. And the focal point will be kind of right near her eyes. There are some other things you can do with pictures that divide them into thirds, like horizon lines and certain patches there. Colors, see how this, almost like there's another line there. But essentially for me it was just exciting to learn that I could take math and maybe help me to be a little bit of a better photographer. Some other pictures I've taken. And I just thought it was interesting, and of course I noticed math in it. So I hope that you enjoyed some of these pictures, looking at different things and how pictures relate to fractions and how fractions, of course, relate to math. Hope you've enjoyed these, and have an absolutely wonderful day.